I think it was. I think it was. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to you all. Love you guys. Big time. There's Tammy, always 100. I mean, yeah, always 100. Never fakes in the house this evening. Unconditional LOVE. Love you big time. Thank you. Thank you. Tiffany Smith. Welcome. Welcome. Faith. Love you. Ruby. Love you. Nicole. Love you. Patricia. Love you. Should I missed anybody so far? I think I have everybody now. There's Kimberly Dukes is also in the house as well. Welcome, Kimberly. Love you big time. Uh, I'm back. That's it. That's it. I think I've been gone for about 2 weeks or so. Back and forwards to the uh, hospital with some issues with my spine, some nerves, and some other things. Tonight, I'm in a different chair, and there are pillows around me, so I won't be in too much pain. But it feels like things are getting better, and to God be the glory for that. Tammy, look, I love you big time, and I am glad to be back. Thank you kindly. You guys have become like family to me, So when I had lay there like on my back, I just couldn't move. I couldn't move. It was. I haven't been shot before. I'd rather be shot again than have to deal with that pain. That is some very, very severe pain. The one and the only Spitting Fire is in the house this evening. Love you big time. I think you called a little while ago, but I was on the other line and I saw that. It's always a pleasure to have you in the house. We were going to turn the phone lines on tonight, but I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, and it's raining. When it rains and just 10 miles per hour wind, the signal with the satellite thing goes out, so we can't do the phone thing tonight. I deeply apologize to you because there is a lady that was going to call in tonight, and I need you to hear what she has to say pertaining to the Maleah Davis case. She is, and Kimberly, it is good to be back. J-Raw, I'm good. I'm good. How about you? How about you? Oh, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. Um, and our main topic for this evening is what has happened in Houston, Texas. We're going to get there shortly. Tawana Sarah says, "Good evening. I am here, but I am at a restaurant." LOL. See, that's my staff member right there. That's dedication. That's dedication. Dedication. I like that. She's out having dinner, but she still gets some outline. Let me say this before you get out here, because I'm sure you might have made a mistake. Probably about 3 years now, she's been with us, and she is a hero. I don't remember the girl's name, but a young girl in Shreveport, Louisiana. She either went missing or she ran away. Miss Knight, I love you big time. Hey, hey, hey! Thank you kindly. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, baby, we finna get there. We finna get there, Miss Knight. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. We are prepared to go until 8 o'clock tonight. That's why we started at 6 this evening. Hope I don't. But I forget the young girl's name. I think she's 12 or 13. She ran away in Shreveport, Louisiana. And Miss Farris was on her way to a store that she normally shop at. And I hope I'm getting it right, Miss Farris. But for some reason, she went to another store. And when she pulled up, she saw the young girl that was missing or had ran away. And she called for her. Surprisingly, the young girl came to her. But Miss Farris said she was prepared to grab her because she knew she was going to try to run. And she sent a passenger and carpenter, I think, around the other side to block her. And she told her that the family's worried about her. You need to go home. And that's where she went. So Miss Farris is a hero in My eyes, I love you big time. I thank you for being right there. I don't think it was by coincidence that you went that way. I think it was by chance. I believe it was a divine intervention because someone else may have pulled up and tried to get her. She may not have went to the car. Spin fire, I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm spin fire. I'm gonna do it until the day I die. But I thought I was down about 2 weeks ago. When you know what? I don't go to the doctors. I don't. I do not do that. I do not do that. But I told Cynthia, I called, I said, I got to go to the hospital. She knew something was wrong with me. I mean, I could barely walk. The second time I went, both times I went, the second time, blood pressure was high. They attributed that to the pain that I was in, which is understandable. Third time we had to go, blood pressure was still high. And again, that can be attributed to the pain that I was in. I don't care what they gave me, what kind of narcotics they gave me. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. And the pain would really hit me at nighttime about 1 o'clock. And I swear, I'd be on my knees crying, God, just let me die. Just let me die. That's how bad the pain was. That's how bad the pain was. No spitting. Try to do this tonight. But anyway, it was bad. It was bad. And since he bought me a cane that I had to use, I didn't like using that because I felt like I was an old man and people knew something was wrong. And I didn't like that. When I would go to grocery stores, I don't even know what you call them, but I would have to get on their little cart thing, and drive it around. And people would be looking at me. I'm like, what the hell are you looking at? And that irritates me and stuff to be, but that's how bad it was. That's how bad it was and stuff. So along with the nerves and stuff, there's a couple more issues that we're dealing with, and hopefully I will soon get back to normal or be better than I was before. But you know what? So many of you, and to all of you on this live feed, you called, you sent emails, you inboxed me. Unfortunately, I couldn't answer anything because I couldn't move. And then you made posts on Facebook as well. Let me say this to you: if my life should be snatched within the next 2 minutes, I love you for that. I appreciate you for that. And anytime I get weary in this, or things are not going accordingly, and I want to back out, it's things like this that I remember that brings me right back to this desk. When we told you we was behind on bills and we need at least $1,000, I think in 2 or 3 days, y'all made that happen. And I gratefully appreciate that. And I'm a firm believer that if somebody believes in you, whatever you do in life, don't let them down. Don't let them down. And so I'm sensitive. I even shed a tear today. I said, wow, you guys came through. I love you big time. Kay Hollins, good evening to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Miss Elizabeth. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. This was supposed to be my opening, but it wasn't because the thing messed up. There will never be enough justice for Maleah. This has been a long 2 years. It has been very traumatic for me and the family. This could never be my true closer for me because we still don't know what really happened. And I think that's something he'll take with him to his grave. It's very upsetting and heartbreaking to know we may never know the truth. Charges of injury to a child and tampering with a corpse do not feel like enough. Why was my daughter killed? That's a statement that was directed to Derion Vence. That statement came from the woman, not the mother, the woman who gave birth to Maleah. when we put this post on our Injustice Investigations Facebook page, the majority of the women that were responding, for some reason, they all had the same opening. Really? Really, Brittany? I mean, really? I tell you, another thing that's sad about this case is that 99.9% of the United States believes, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Brittany Bowens killed her child. Now, if we can get Houston Police Department to believe that and treat that as such, maybe we will get some justice for Maleah. But with this victim statement, first of all, Brittany Bowens is not a victim. Brittany Bowens is a victimizer. Brittany Bowens is not a victim. The only victim in this case is 4-year-old Maleah Davis. That's your victim. That's your victim. That's the victim. Nobody else. Miss Winfrey, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Thank you all for coming on a different time. I don't know what's all that noise in the background. So, when I first found out about Derion Vence entering those 2 guilty pleas, at that time, remind you, I was on my back. But my reliable source in Houston, Texas, sent it straight to me. But I couldn't respond still. I wanted to so bad. So many of you were inboxing me. Scott, did you know? Did you know? Did you know? From the time we first heard Brittany Bowens speak at the press conference, not one time since then have we ever saw or felt any true emotions about the loss of the child that God blessed her to bring into this world. Not one time. Sometimes it takes her about 7 to 8 seconds to answer a reporter. You'll see the shaking of her head. What she says is not in agreement with this. And so we pay more attention to body language than what someone says, because your body language will tell a story that your mouth will never utter. Mary Elizabeth, thank you kindly. I love you big time. Will you all do me a great favor, please? Because we only get, I think it's twice a month we get paid from YouTube. I gratefully appreciate your donations. But if you can, will you send them to the Cash App or the PayPal? It's at the bottom of your screen. I gratefully appreciate you. There was no emotions whatsoever. Now, I want you to realize what Derion Vence was charged with. And then, if he is a true killer, a true child killer, if they have him dead to the right, the 2 charges he's in prison on now don't fit him. The punishment should always fit the crime. Does that mean I believe that Derion Vence is innocent? Hell no. He's guilty. But guilty of what? So when we ask that question on Facebook, has justice really been served? The majority of the people said no. And after saying no, it was one name they called. That individual needs to be in the jail cell as well. Then we'll be all right. Good evening, Roberta. Love you big time. So again, as Brittany Bowens was reading that statement in the courtroom, she was also talking to her damn self. Now, I don't know what it is that would make a man who has never had so much as a traffic ticket wake up one morning and decide I want to spend the rest of my life in prison, or I want the death penalty because I'm no longer happy being amongst people, so I'm going to kill a 4-year-old girl that's not my child. Then I shall rest. Well, Mr. Scott, why did you plead guilty? Why you plead guilty? Do you know people plead guilty every day to crimes they know they didn't commit, but there's always a reason. Derion Vence reason may not be Michael Williams' reason, but there is a reason. There is a reason. But from day one, I've been saying, Derion Vence, speak out, open your damn mouth. But evidently, when he opened his mouth, he didn't tell what he should have told. So if he would like to spend some years in prison, well, guess what? He just got elected to that. Before we get into the timeline, realize this. A child was killed for your girl. Now, I would think we would work around the clock to find out who did it, where did they do it at, and what was the motive. And then we probably can give them first-degree murder or second-degree murder. But here's what we did. We gave an injury to a child, tampering with evidence, that being a corpse. 40 years in the plea deal, but you won't do all that. You will not. Now, here's what the prosecutors knew. It's what the detectives knew. We may put this charge on him, but when we walk into that courtroom, are we able to persuade a jury that he's guilty? No, we don't have that kind of evidence. It's simple. They let him plead to a very low number. Now, you know why they didn't give him first degree or second degree murder? It can't be proven. It cannot be proven. Listen to this. This interview was given to ABC 13 News. It was from ABC. Derion Vence was being interviewed about what happened to Maleah Davis. Here's what he said to the reporter. I ain't no killer, bro. I loved Maleah so much. I did for her. I did more for her than her own parents did. And I believe that. I never had a biological daughter. I would never do anything to hurt her. That's not me. Ask anyone who knows me, and they will tell you I'm not that type of dude. And I was good with the kids. If I died tonight, I believe that statement 1,000,000,000%. That's not him. But it's easy to convict the poor with or without evidence. You saw the video, you saw the pictures. Derion Vence holding Maleah up, which would be her last birthday party at the age of 4. You saw how they interacted with one another. You saw it. You saw it. Miss Burnett, good evening to you. Love you big time. You saw that. Derion Vence was a tool that was being used to accomplish somebody else's diabolical agenda. But that person didn't know that. Didn't know it. Didn't know it. The sister in Houston, Texas, failed Maleah as well. Judge Lopez failed Maleah Lynn Davis. CPS, watch it now. And let me tell you this. I was speaking, I got a call today. I thought about his name when I was going to bring up something. Blockbender called me today. He had called right when I got sick and left a message. And of course, I didn't check until a few days ago and stuff. But I respect that dude. Love him to the ends of the earth and back. He is to be respected because he has earned that respect. I think we talked on the phone for about 2 hours. 2 hours. So we just talked. And we talked about the Maleah Davis case. And then he told me, he said, when I saw you was doing it, I got into it. And here's what I didn't think this, but he made a lot of sense. He said, in order to really understand what was happening and why it happened, I had to become 3 things. I said, what's it? He said, I had to become Derion Vence. And then I had to become Brittany Boyd. And then I had to become a 4-year-old child. And in doing so, you get your answer. It's just that simple. Maleah Davis never knew the meaning of the word LOVE. She lived a terrible, 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 painful life. Terrible. We put a post out on our Facebook page. I think it's on YouTube, community section too as well. I'm not for sure. But it talked about Maleah Davis court records and what was said inside of a courtroom. And so we had put it out once, but I decided I would go ahead and put it out again today. Because if you read it, you will know that Brenda Bowens was on a mission. She's on a mission. The doctor said in August of 2018, that Maleah Davis had been rushed to the hospital with a head injury. Now, the doctor said, I don't know how it happened, but 2 things I am sure of. One, how it happened is inconsistent with what Brittany Bowens is telling us. It's inconsistent. Don't make any sense. Second, Maleah Davis had a previous head injury that was not reported. Wasn't reported. So before we got to the hospital, someone made a call to CPS and reported Brittany Bowens. But I think it was child neglect, child abuse, or something to that extent. And the child eventually was removed. But just as quick as she was removed, Judge Lopez sent back. Judge Lopez should be somewhere eating goddamn burritos in a jail cell, her damn cell. You too failed, Maleah, because you're the judge. I don't care what CPS says in that courtroom. You're supposed to be able to think for yourself and look at the evidence that you have and realize one thing. If these injuries are unexplainable and these are head injuries, that's serious. And until I know how it happened, I'm not going to send that child to her death. But that's what Judge Lopez did. She too must be held accountable. This is not a do-over. As Block Bender said today, when we call CPS, Child Protection Services, focus on the word protection. We call you because we believe you're going to protect the child. When we investigate and we go and we speak with the accused and we write down what that person is saying or record it, what that person is saying, you have to investigate to find out if they're lying. You don't just sit there and take what they say and go with, well, she said that the child just fell. You're supposed to be investigating Brittany Bowens. That's what a child's life is in danger. The child was losing weight. The last time she took a picture, she had a half a smile because she was that damn weak. You could see it in her eyes. I come to you because you're the system, and I don't want to get involved. I'm coming to you because sometimes I think stupid. I guess today I'm thinking stupid because I'm calling CPS because there's a child that's being neglected and used and abused. And I need you to do your damn job. I don't need you to get in there with the accused and exchange cell phone numbers to later exchange recipes or to meet at a store somewhere and become that person's friend. You have a job to do. And you should do that to the best of your ability. And you get your other investigators and you investigate everything that that person is telling you. Miss Bennett says, I don't think she wanted her. If you don't say anything else, Miss Bennett, you just please. But Brother Flax, I believe Derion Vence loved her, without a doubt. He loved Maleah Davis. He loved her. He loved her. Now watch this. Let's look at the timeline. April 30th. Surveillance photo shows Maleah Davis and her stepfather, Derion Vence, on the ground of their Southwest Houston apartment, returning home at about 7:54 a.m. That will be the last time that Maleah Davis would ever be seen alive. At 8:50 a.m., Derion Vence goes to his vehicle alone. Derion Vence is seen on surveillance photo leaving their apartment carrying a large blue laundry basket with a black trash bag inside at approximately 1:40 p.m. May 3rd, Derion Vence captured on surveillance photo leaving the family's apartment with a child. One child may have also been carrying a bottle of bleach. On May 4th, Derion Vence arrives at Sugar Land Hospital, and it is there he reports Maleah missing to police, 11:21 p.m. Maleah was taken, Derion Vence, by 3 Hispanic males, and they also took our Nissan Altima vehicle. I was on my way to pick up my girlfriend from the airport. She went to go bury her father. While I was going to the airport, I heard a sound. I pulled over to check it out. 3 Hispanic males in a blue pickup truck came right behind me, in and out of consciousness. And as soon as I was gathered in my right mind, I walked to the hospital. Authorities issued an Amber Alert for Maleah Davis at 7:59 a.m. on May 5th. Now, Derion Vence first told authorities at the hospital that he walked there. He walked there. He walked there. He walked there. But here we go, eyes in the sky. Surveillance video showing him not only arriving in a vehicle someone else was driving, he arrived in a vehicle that is exactly similar to the silver Nissan Altima. Brittany Bowens is asked about that vehicle. Is that yours? Yes. Whoa! What? That's your car right there. Oh, yeah, that's my car. These are dumb criminals. Okay. Now, on May 9th, a taxi cab driver spots the family's silver Nissan Altima in Missouri City Shopping Center and notifies authorities. On May the 11th, Derion Vence is arrested and charged with tampering with evidence, that being a corpse. Maleah would later be found on the side of the road, her remains in a garbage bag, as if she was nothing but trash. This case has received a lot of attention, and sometimes I try to figure out. I wonder why. Because this happens to children every day. But it was something about little Maleah that the whole world fell in love with, and we put everything on hold. And we focused on Maleah Davis. She got our undivided attention. Tasha Washington says Brittany needs to be in jail. Block Bender, love you big time. Block Bender TV is in the house. Hey, enjoyed your conversation today, bro. I really did. Lisa Harris, good evening to you as well. So now, if Derion Vence, whatever he decided, I'm not going to go to trial with this. He says he didn't want to put the family through no more than they had already been through. Maleah Davis is dead. That's the worst. That's the worst. It don't get no worse than that. You asked for a bond reduction, and I think you got it, but you still didn't walk. At this point, Derion Vence is exactly where he needs to be, in a goddamn jail cell, because he's super fucking stupid. He has some wrong in this, but it's not what they gave him. Now watch this. I can't take him to trial because I don't have enough to convince a jury that he did it, especially the condition of her body. Someone sent me this right before airtime. This popped up. Okay, it's one of our close sources in Houston, Texas. So, Derion Vence couldn't be charged with murder because the medical examiner couldn't give a valid cause of death. Her body and evidence was destroyed by the lawnmower. Now, if we have Derion Vence locked up, Brittany Bowens is under investigation for child neglect and child abuse. But we never see her in handcuffs. And you know what else is ironic? On April 30th, for some reason, you see Derion Vence on that video. Derion Vence, nobody but him. as if somebody was keeping him busy on the outside. You don't find that suspicious when you never saw Brittany Bowen's ass. That something ain't right. Derion Vence once said, nothing bad happened to Maleah. Nothing bad happened to Maleah. Nothing bad happened to Maleah. What the hell could be worse than death? Whatever Brittany Bowens told him happened, it wasn't bad. And it was by accident. So he was trying to protect Brittany Bowens' cantaloupe ass. But at the same time, boy, you being set up and you don't know. So why did Derion Vence throw Maleah in the woods like she was garbage? Well, at that particular time, that's what they saw. Garbage, here it goes. So he couldn't love Maleah if he threw Maleah away. He loved Maleah. I'll take that to my grave. And she loved him. But here's why he did what he did. He loved Maleah, but he was in love with Brittany Bowens. And whatever she said, let's do it. He's got his marching shoes on, and he go. Block Brenda says, he's her ride or die. That's it. That is it. Peggy says, hello, amen. That's right. And even in prison, he's still her ride or die. He's got to be the dumbest black man on planet Earth. When Brittany says this is not closure, you got them right, because you are not in a jail cell. That's where you need to be. Nothing about Brittany Bowens says mother. I mean, absolutely nothing. May 15th, extra search begins to look for Maleah Davis. They looked for also on May 15th. This time they went to a new location. The search for Maleah Davis expands to Arkansas. Her remains were found inside of a garbage bag near exit 18 in Fort Arkansas. June 3rd, remains have been positively identified as those of Maleah Davis. June 22nd, Maleah Davis is laid to rest in a private ceremony. The audacity of low-life, trifling, insignificant, diabolical bastards call for a private ceremony when y'all kill them. But you don't want the public there, because if it won't be a man, one of them black sisters was going to tear into Brittany Bowens' combat boots wearing ass. But you have the audacity to make it private, and it's the world that's loving her. You didn't want them to come there, us to come there, because all of that love was going to fill that room up, and then more and more suspicious was going to come to you. There's no statute of limitation on her. Houston police failed Maleah Lynn Davis. So many of you on YouTube and Facebook, well, I would have taken that child. I would have. And so many mothers said, well, Scott, no, I can't see that. A mother can't fathom that, because a mother is a mother. But a monster, you got to realize, she may have carried Maleah Davis in her womb, but she did not carry Maleah Davis in her heart. And that's what matters.
Not one time did she call for the posse to saddle up and let's go look for my child. I don't need nobody to look. That's mine. You know why she didn't do it? She knew she was there. She knew what she was. I'm not going to get that damn son do all that damn walk. I'm not going to do it. That's her.
Tamir, Tamir Beast says 2 years later, and they called this justice. It's really a joke. I have been following this story since the beginning, and I knew something about this was off. Everything was said. It was. It was. Look at this. Let's see. The homicidal violence. That's what the medical examiner said. It essentially means a death from anything other than natural causes. Homicidal violence does not automatically equate with murder. And prosecutors must prove a person was intentionally killed before seeking an indictment on murder charge. So that goes back to what I've been saying from day one. You know you cannot convict him in a courtroom on the word murder. You can't do that. So you try this. Let's stick him with this. Don't you know if they had absolutely 1,000,000% positive that he did this, they would not let him plea down to that little number right there. This is a murder of a child. But I got to get it over with because we got other cases to look at. Let's give him this and get on. But even if we go into the courtroom on trial with this here, 50-50. 50-50. We can't take that gamble. Yes, you are, Miss Henry. You're late. We can't take that gamble. We can't. Terry Scott says, I actually think Brittany heard him hit the baby. And she was on the other side of the phone when it all took place. Possible. But I think, in fact, I'm thinking, whatever happened to Maleah really wasn't Derion's doing. Derion Vence said, I got tired, I got frustrated, I'm paraphrasing. I had him in my lap, I looked up, bang, I slammed her against the wall. He messed it. Miss Washington, if you don't say nothing else during this live feed, you just preached. You just preached. She says Brittany Bowens harmed Maleah before she left. And I can ride with that. I can ride with that. Miss B says the only person that was hurt was Maleah. She deserves better. She shouldn't have had to die to be loved. Oh! That's it. The only time Maleah Davis felt love was when
heart stopped beating down here. And all of us wrapped around her like a blanket. Then she knew what love felt like. Miss Duncan, I can only hope so. Catherine Duncan says, maybe now, since he's charged, he might tell another inmate the truth, but what could possibly bring charges up on Brittany? You know what? I hope, but I really do hope that's the case. But I was thinking by now, we wouldn't even be talking about this because he would have opened his damn mouth. Now, I need, when you said nothing bad happened to Maleah, I need Derion Vence. Explain that to me. I mean, you have to explain that to me because she's dead. She's dead. Little did Maleah know she would never live to see 5 years old. Because the people that were taking care of her should have been teaching her about stranger danger, but they were the stranger danger. The system failed Maleah. If Judge Lopez, along with Brittany, is the biggest fella of all, because she had an opportunity to keep her in the state's care until they figured out what the hell was happening to Maleah, that she had to have several brain surgeries. What happened to Maleah that they had to cut half of her skull out to stop the swelling? What happened? And since the doctor we deal with don't know, that's cool. She stayed with the state, and I'm gonna send her to another doctor and another doctor and another doctor until we can find out what the hell happened to Maleah's head. You're not gonna use that same medical examiner for 20 or 30 goddamn years. Y'all get too comfortable with one another. You lie for one another. I hope Judge Lopez sleeps good because your ass needs to go to hell. You really need to go to hell. You're sorry. I don't give a damn if she had been on that bench for 3 hours. I'm assuming when you put her in a black robe, she knows what the fuck she's doing. Mr. Murphy says that was about the only time. That was it. That's when she felt love. But she felt that love from all of us on this feet and others around this country. That's when she felt it. Y'all done heard me say this a million times. I'm gonna say it again. I don't know what happened to her, how it happened, but I'm trying to visualize something in my mind. And remember, this is not a fact. It's my opinion, and I'm not trying to pass my opinion off as a fact. I can visualize somebody torturing a child, and she keep looking at them, backing up because she's scared, and she's doing this, and she's falling up in fetal position, and she says, "Why are y'all doing this? Why are you doing this to me?" And she's fighting it, and then God looks down and said, "Maleah, Maleah," and she looked. When God got tired, that's when Maleah and Davis got rest. When God got tired. If Brittany Bowen's statement as to what had happened to that child is inconsistent with the wounds, I think she is a person of interest. And I'm giving her a benefit of that one. I said that. Tammy says that's how they were supposed to go. if we don't protect the children, who will? There are hundreds of Maleahs that has come before Maleah Davis, but they didn't get the publicity that Maleah Lynn Davis was receiving, and it's still receiving. A child only eats when you feed them. Don't have clothes unless you clothe them. Don't have a place to live if you don't shelter them. A child only knows what you say or what you teach them. You can take a child and beat a child and beat a child. Child will go to their room, crying, come out, whips all over their body, and still wrap their arms around their breast. Ms. Polk, good evening to you. Wherever a child lay his or her head is where they should find rest. If you never felt pain for this little girl, then you yourselves have to be a body without a soul. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we can learn anything from this, we would learn to look for certain signs that a child might be in the wrong place. The system focused, and I think Blockman brought up with somebody the other day, that the system focused so much on, well, we don't want to separate the child from the mother for too long. What the hell you say? That's not a mother. That's a monster. But if you got to separate them for 2 years until you get it right and they get it right, let's do it. This is not a do-over. It's not a do-over. And now the whole goddamn posse still walking around here with Maleah Davis on a damn shirt. If she'd have been in y'all fucking heart, she wouldn't be on a goddamn t-shirt. That don't mean shit. She needed that fake love you're saying you got now for. The truth is the truth, whether you believe it or not. I'm pissed. I'm really pissed at what just happened. Derion, you about as dumb as a box of goddamn rocks, because you let a big moose trick you into giving up your freedom. But it's the right thing now. You know, I don't want the family to suffer no more. She dead. Her remains was found in a bag, a garbage bag. So whatever you got to say, they good. They can deal with it, especially when they know one damn thing. Some of them sitting in there know everything that you finna tell because they all had a part in it. All of them. The only thing they sit in that courtroom hoping, you don't call their goddamn name. They don't. I love my mom to the ends of the earth. I'll be damned if I do 40 years in prison. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not. Now, if CPS can't get it right, because if you remember, especially in Houston, Texas, some of them was caught for falsifying documents. They were saying that the child was not in danger, but the child was in great danger. Y'all remember when I said this. As far as investigators are concerned, when child protection services have been called, this one investigator, no, we don't do that no more. 2 investigators go out together. Both investigators tell what they see, what they feel. And you must have on a body cam that you can't turn off. Because so many are still coming up missing and being neglected and being killed. You can't be telling the goddamn truth on court documents, government documents. You can't be. So I need to see what you're doing in that house. I don't need you to get comfortable with the accused. I need you to investigate and put her where she needs to be. I don't need y'all trading goddamn secrets about recipes and yeah, did you go down to Sam's and stuff? They got their good herring and stuff. Too bad for down there and all. They're good. I don't need you doing that. I need you to play your role. And your role is to investigate, not become somebody's goddamn friend. You're an investigator, hired to protect the children. And when they call you to protect the children, you turn your goddamn back. Oh, y'all a bunch of goddamn low-life, sorry son of a bitches. Your mama should be so goddamn proud. You would rather get pissed off at me and others that tell the truth about what happened to Maleah, but you don't go. You have no problems protecting a goddamn killer. You do that with ease. You rather protect the killer of that child than to get that child her due justice. All y'all need to rot in the goddamn jail cell. All of them. You're a bunch of trifling, low-life, insignificant bodies without goddamn soul. The whole damn system failed. Maleah Davis. Nashville, I love you big time. Thank you for tuning in. I have a granddaughter. We're going to get out of here. God forbid, I pray it never happens. But if something like this happens to my child, she was killed, my grandchild. I don't give a damn who was talking about my child on the show or just around the foul. If they're trying to get to the truth, justice, go on, brother. Go on, brother. But you can't do that because you know what happened to you. You know. You get a woman off a plane. And she sits there for hours, waiting on him to pull up. Your children are in the car. The boy, the girl. Maleah Davis has had several brain surgeries. She has to be watched extremely close. Plus, I know she's taking medication. Now, my daddy just died, and they're going to bury her. I got to go. I don't have a problem with you doing that. But why would you leave your child? Why would you leave your child with a man that you said, hold on. That you said was molesting your child, and he didn't do it once, he did it over and over again. And you were seeing time and time again bathing that child. But you didn't leave. But you didn't call the police. This is your child that you allege through Malcolm X with the 2 page that had been molesting that child. And as he said, Washington said, because she didn't care. And that's it. It's just as simple as that. So either you're condoning what he's doing, if he's doing it, I don't think he was, or either you're still condoning what he's doing because you too is doing. Somebody out of shop. Somebody out of shop. A real mother, a real mother would not have waited on another goddamn opportunity for somebody to molest their child. If they didn't lock him up, that motherfucker would be in the ground. A mother. But you gave him chance after chance after chance to molest your daughter. And not only that, you get up on an airplane and go, woo, thousands of miles away with a molest. Really? Really? Bonnie Fife won't believe this goddamn fucking bullshit. You gotta go. Brenda Bowen her mother, Brittany, told off. She told off. She turned state. But evidently some people didn't get it, or they said, oh, don't worry about it. Because she said she had been off for a few days. And Maleah was staying with her. And there was never an accident. But every time she goes back to Big Bonnet, something goes fucking wrong. And every time it goes wrong, Big Bonnet calls her mother and asks what to do. Oh, I don't fucking know. She got their medical attention. Now, if I'm telling you when she go back, you ought to be able to pick up on that. You have to pick up on that. It's a subliminal message. And it also could have been just slipped out. But you have to address that. What the hell you keep calling move up? She fell. She believed. And you said you didn't call 911. You called your mother. Put your goddamn hands behind your big goddamn bare back. I gotta get out of here. Listen, Miss Washington saying real caring mother would never leave their child in harm's way. Somebody ought to say hallelujah. Somebody ought to say hallelujah. Listen to what Miss Catherine Duncan just typed in. I wonder how many more kids has the judge failed. She needs to be removed. The whole damn system is corrupt. And all of them must be held accountable for failing Maleah Davis. If you didn't love me while I was alive, how in the hell can you say you love me now? Love is a verb. And the verb does what? It shows actions. Somebody in the family, I ain't gonna say which side, somebody in the family overheard what happened. And so, since they didn't tell, right now, they're still nervous as a virgin on prom night. They accidentally heard, and then they became part of the crime when they said nothing. They heard by accident. But that person, not a bad person. She's not a bad person. Hard to believe, but she's not. If I'm moving, that means I'm getting in pain again. So listen, we gotta get ready to get out here. Wednesday night. I want you to join me at 7 p.m. There is a former pastor in Texas has been sentenced to 75 years in prison. He was sentenced to 75 years in prison because allegedly he was molesting or raping a child. And the child said, not only did Pastor Ronald Mitchell molest me, he also molested my sister. Well, we have two sisters, both telling two different stories. One says he molested me and my sister. The sister on this side said, I don't think he molested you, and I know damn well he didn't molest you. The family will be coming on the show Wednesday night. I've been in contact with them about 2 months now, and they're ready. They're going to come, and you can see how upset they are about the pastor being locked up, along with some other things. But if we're willing, Wednesday night, we will be here at 7 p.m. As always, I think y'all for tuning in tonight's live broadcast. If you're financially able, we ask that you contribute to the show to keep us doing that we do. As always, we don't charge anyone. You all put that bill. If you don't send it out, we are thankful for that. I love you, and remember, I'm not always right, and you are not always wrong. I'm out, Scott.